So I'm going to share something that's going to make a lot of entrepreneurs uncomfortable. Brace yourself. If you only pay yourself after everything else is paid, you're not disciplined. You're stuck. Most business owners are proud to say, I just reinvest everything back into the business. Stop it. But what they don't realize is that they've built a system where the business survives and everyone else gets paid and the owner lives on scraps. Leftovers? No, thank you. It's not noble. That's broken. Today, we are going to dive deep into living on the leftovers mindset. We're talking about why starving yourself doesn't grow your business, why sales minus expenses will never equal freedom, and why paying yourself first is not optional if you want this to last. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to the Calm Cash Flow workshop happening January 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During this 90-minute session, I am going to show you how to confidently manage your money so that it increases and you can spend it without guilt or shame. I'm introducing the practical and spiritual emotional tools to help you regulate your nervous system so that you're not hustling or chasing after money, but it's just coming to you in overflow. Click the link in the description, or you can visit idatemmoney.com/cash-flow-workshop. You want to be there so you can confidently manage and multiply your money with ease. So if you've ever asked yourself or ever said to yourself, I'll pay myself once things stabilize. I'll pay myself once my business hits X amount of dollars. I can't pay myself because there's just nothing left. I can't afford to cut myself a check because then I can't pay my team. It's just the season I'm in. I've had a rough year. You don't understand. Stay with me because this might be the episode that changes how you run your business. What does living on the leftovers actually look like? Let's call this out honestly. Living on the leftovers sounds like I'll skip my paycheck this month. I'll reinvest all the money I earn back into my business. I'll just use my savings to make ends meet. Next month will be better. I don't want to hurt the business, but I've been told I should reinvest everything back into it. And on paper, it looks responsible. But in reality, it creates 4 problems. You're constantly stressed, you make reactive decisions, and you resent the business you built. You can't see if the business actually works because if the business can't support one person, you, the owner, then it's not healthy. It's just busy. You're literally working for free. So here's the formula most people are using. Sales minus expenses equals profit. And every time they say there's nothing left, it's the truth. Expenses are not fixed. They expand. The more money you earn, the more money you spend. You unconsciously spend money. Oh, I hit $12,000. I'm hiring an agency. I'm getting a team. I'm having salespeople call for me. But you don't understand. They don't make money unless they sell something. But if they're working and not making money, how are they making money? So if there's more money in your account, what do? You add software, you add team members, maybe you hire contractors. The spending creeps up and then you justify it and somehow profit disappears. Now, if you're working for a Fortune 500 company as a CEO, you're going to get a bonus. You're the CEO of your business. Where's your bonus? People assume I just need to sell more. I just need to make more money. I'll just offer low ticket, high volume. No, you need a better system. You need a strong foundation because it doesn't matter how much money you bring in. If you're spending it all back into the business and you're never cutting yourself a salary, you're never taking a profit, you're going to get burnt out. And more selling doesn't fix this. And this is where people get trapped. They think, if I could just double revenue, I'd finally pay myself. Once I make more money, then. But what actually happens? Revenue doubles, complexity doubles, stress doubles, expenses double. And guess what stays the same? Your paycheck. Because the system never changed. A broken system at $10K a month is still broken at 100. So the real formula is to pay yourself first. This reframes everything. Sales minus profit equals expenses. Yes, your operating expenses come last. When you can do everything for free in your business, you're ahead of the game. We want to strategically add expenses as we grow. And I know, I've been through this. I remember when I first opened up I Date Money, I was doing one-to-one client calls in my top tier level, 12K. As soon as I got that 12K client, I went and hired a VA agency for $2,500 a month. Something snapped. And it was so time consuming working with one-to-one clients. Guess who didn't add any more to the calendar? Now, this $2,500 a month agency fee seemed like a burden, and I was not getting the ROI that I intended from having this service. I jumped in too fast. But this is what they tell you. Put everything back into your business. Get the support. Hire out, contract out services, tasks that you don't like to do. And I know some of the tasks, I always say tech is my nemesis. Some of the tasks I don't like to enjoy. And yes, I'm all about hiring, but strategically hiring. It's so important to shop. It's like when you hire a contractor to remodel your home, you're going to get a minimum of 3 quotes. It's the same thing in your business. You want to interview coaches, VAs, agencies, looking at the list of duties that you have, how are you going to farm it out so that it's economical in your business to help your growth? Because if you're dreading making that payment every month, guess what's going to happen to your sales? Boom, it's going to affect your energy. Profit is not what's left over. Any company that is successful takes their profits first. You've probably heard of people grumbling about, oh yeah, well, companies are making profit. I know, I'm an independent insurance broker and I hear this all the time in the healthcare industry. Yeah, well, the insurance companies are making sure they get their money. Yes, they are, because they work on profit first. Profit is planned. It's intentional. And when you decide in advance what percentage of your gross receipts you want to be profit, you want towards taxes or salary, and then your operating expenses, guess what happens? Your money multiplies, it overflows, and it brings in more business because you've calmed your nervous system and you've allowed yourself to build a multi-million-dollar company that thrives. How much of the business must you produce? How much business gets protected? And what the business has to operate on? A successful business reframes the way they take profit from their business. Sales minus profit equals expenses. Profit is not what's left over. It's what you pay yourself. It's what's planned. It's the same thing successful companies are doing every single day. Gross receipts come in. They decide how much profit they want. Bonus, you decide in advance how much the business must produce for you, how much gets protected, and what the business has to operate on. This flips the power dynamic. Instead of expenses dictating your life, you dictate the rules. Paying yourself first works psychologically. Last year, I took a course on the psychology of money. I've always been intrigued by the psychology of anything. But here's what most people miss. Paying yourself first reduces financial anxiety and it improves decision making. It creates clarity. And when you're constantly worried about money, you underprice, you say yes to bad clients, you chase revenue instead of profit. When you know your bases are covered, you lead better. And this isn't emotional, it's neurological. Stress shrinks your thinking. Say that really fast. Stress shrinks your thinking. Stability expands it. When you are confidently managing your money and you're getting paid for the services that you're providing, you become so peaceful. And you're thinking, but this is going to hurt my business. Just try it. This is the biggest fear I hear. My one client, we were looking at her year end. She made over $300,000. Didn't have a dime to show for it. She's like, this doesn't match my P&L. What happened? Well, let's think about what happened. She wasn't really keeping great records. Her business was commingled with her personal finances. The business was literally paying for everything, and there was no separation. It's so important to have boundaries. Your business is separate. Then you pay yourself. That becomes your personal money. You use your personal money that your business pays you to take care of your personal expenses. So one of the things I hear is if I pay myself first, if I take a profit, then there's not going to be enough money to grow my business. But if you're commingling your business with your personal, there's not enough money anyways, because you don't have that strong foundation established. So if paying yourself breaks your business was already broken. There was no foundation. Taking profit doesn't destroy your business. It reveals reality. It shows you what you can actually afford, what's unnecessary, what's leaking money. And when you first look at it, it's uncomfortable. It's like, do I have to see that in writing? But once you train your brain to do this, you take the action to pay yourself, you become empowered. So this isn't about being extreme. You don't go from 0 to hero overnight. You start with small percentages and you work yourself up, increasing it every time you date money, week by week. Separate accounts. If you're in the United States, I love Novo. The link is in the show notes. When you use my link, we each get a $40 once you meet certain requirements. With the Novo account, all the money can go in and it'll automatically disperse it into reserve accounts based on the percentages that you set up. This gives you consistent habits. You always have money for your profit, your taxes, your paycheck, and your operating expenses. And you can very clearly, no spreadsheets, no complicated budgeting, no nothing. You just open up that bank account and you immediately see where your money is, how much you can spend, how much you transfer over to pay yourself. You get paid weekly. You get paid daily if you want to. Even if you start off with 1% profit, like you're nervous and you're thinking, but Lisa, you don't understand. My operating expenses are outrageous. Well, come to the cash flow workshop. We'll look at that, thinking about why are those operating expenses so high? Are you overspending? And maybe you're carrying this over into your personal life. And taking a paycheck. Now, I recommend 50%. If your grocery receipts are less than 250, maybe if their grocery receipts are more than 250,000, you want to cut yourself a salary and you can decide, 30,000 a year, 40, 50,000. Look at your personal expenses. What do you need to live the lifestyle that you love? Because you're not training the numbers, you're training the behavior. That's why I like to use percentages, because it doesn't matter what money comes in. When you take the percentage, it's always the same. And this helps you regulate your nervous system. It gives you the calm and the confidence that you need to say, yeah, I deserve a paycheck. And then your behavior towards money starts to change. Instead of thinking, money's coming in, I got to spend it, I got to pay the bills, I got to pay down debt. You're like, yeah, no, that's taken care of. Yeah, I got my money buckets, my reserves set up, my goals are established. I know exactly what my money is doing. And then when bonus time comes around, woohoo, you get to celebrate. This system matters more than the amount. And when you stick with this for a minimum of 90 days, your expenses get leaner, your awareness increases, and your cash flow stabilizes. Confidence grows, not because you worked harder, but because the business finally has rules and boundaries that are easy to follow, a structure that creates financial freedom. I want you to stop wearing the living on leftovers badge. It doesn't mean you're committed. It means you've normalized instability. A real business owner pays its owner, generates profit, and supports life, not consumes it. Paying yourself first isn't selfish, it's leadership. If this challenged you and you're thinking, you're crazy, I'm not going to do this, I really want you to subscribe and join me every Wednesday for business conversations on how to calm your nervous system, how to implement this strategy of paying yourself first. And be sure to sign up for the Calm Cash Flow workshop on January 7th for $37. It'll be one of the best investments that you have to gain clarity, confidence in managing your money to multiply it. There is no shame or guilt when you're paying yourself first. when your business is thriving. This makes your money multiply because remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.